All right, Sunset Rewind, back at you with another Girls Volleyball Preview 2025 edition. Taryn Rodriguez here coming at you with the man, the myth, the legend, Charlie Brand. How are you doing today, Charlie?
Always good, Taryn. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Thank you for asking. So, without any further delay, let's introduce our guest. He is the head boys and girls volleyball coach at Marina High School. He had a great season last year, went to the CIF Southern Section Division III quarterfinals. Great guy overall. Ladies and gentlemen, Ryan Parker. How you doing, Ryan?
I'm doing good. Thank you for that great introduction, and thank you for having me on. I'm happy to be here and talk volleyball with you guys.
Our pleasure. So the floor is yours. Who are you? Talk about who Ryan Parker is, and how did you get into volleyball?
I like that we're starting with a big existential question. I'm a father, a husband, a coach, hoping to be a teacher again soon. But I've been a teacher for the last few years also. The way I got into volleyball actually was through my now current wife, but then girlfriend. My freshman year of high school, she played and she was a good player. And I decided, well, I better learn how to play some volleyball too.
Smart boy.
So I started playing. I fell in love with it. All throughout high school, I was definitely more of a basketball player. But then my senior year at a tiny little private Christian school in Huntington, Liberty Christian, I happened to get Derek Lucero to come in and coach for my team. And from then it was like I found a whole new way to love volleyball through having like a really serious high-level coach that was pushing me. And so from there, I started coaching the year I graduated high school. I graduated in June, and I was named the varsity head coach at Liberty, same school I graduated from, in July. And so,
Nice.
and then Derek gave me a job over at HBC. And since then,
The club team.
Yes,
Okay.
with the club over at
Huntington
HBC.
Beach, yeah.
And from then, I've just been super fortunate to have so many great coaches invest in me. That first year from learning to coach alongside Derek and Steve Klosterman and Sam Morehouse, who was one of the main guys at Modern Day a few years ago. And it's so many great coaches. Edgar Palos, who I actually got the job from at Marina when he moved on. Jake Nuneviller, who's currently at Modern Day. I've just been super privileged to get invested in, and now all these years later, here I am running both sides of Marina. My third year with the girls and fifth year, going into my sixth year with the boys.
I was about to say, Jake Nuneviller was the previous girls volleyball coach for Marina. What do you think you learned the most from him, and how do you think he helped prepare you to become the coach that you are now?
Yeah, I've got nothing but great things. Jake's a close friend of mine now, right? But early on, I was a young coach. I got put with him as an assistant, and I just learned how to keep my mouth moving. I don't know if you guys know Jake, but he's pretty good at coaching a lot. And
That's well put.
yeah, he's not known for sitting on the sideline and letting players do their thing, and I mean that full on as praise, and so when I got with him early on, it was a lot about the details. He's a very detail oriented guy too. He breaks things down very well. And then when we got to Marina, my first couple years as an assistant, the year before I got the head job, we went all the way to the finals. With the group on the girls' side, and it was all about like taking up as much information as I possibly could from scouting reports and all that. And I think that Jake did a really good job of kind of showing me the ropes of what it looks like to gain information from scouting reports, from practices, from games, but also implement it on the fly in the middle of games.
So let's talk about last year. Amazing year. What do you think you learned the most as a head coach?
Last year it was really about it was a pretty tough year. It was a lot of fun, but it's a whole other game to focus on getting out of Sunset League for so many years. Like we just got to get above 500 and get out, and to get into more of that. Hey, we're gonna go try to compete and try to win a league title, and you learn pretty quick, especially in Sunset, that there is no pressure games. Every game is high pressure all season.
That only makes you a better coach.
Yeah.
And your players better players because they
Absolutely.
always have to get involved
Yeah.
to be able to compete.
Yeah, absolutely. And especially last year, that was our second trip into CIF with that group, with Korynn's group, her freshman year. We had a good enough little run. We ran into Beckman pretty early.
The eventual champion.
Yeah, Beckman was great that year. But it was like kind of, oh, hey, we're young, no big deal, this is fun, right? And then the next year, it's like, no, we gotta figure out how to win. And I think that a lot of our early season with Dave Mose and making, I know it was only one division, but making the goal that Dave Mose last year, and we played Huntington, took a set off of them. It was like kind of, for me, learning how to keep my players under control in the big stress moments when we play a Cathedral Catholic or a Huntington or even J. Sarah at Dave Mose. They were really good last year also, and really help my players stay the course of what we need to focus on in the middle of a game instead of being so reactive, you know?
You know, it's one thing to take a game off somebody that's really good, but then regrouping to take the second game is way tougher.
Oh, way tougher.
Way tougher. And
Yeah,
learning
you
how
know,
to do that and coach that is tough.
And I remember at our coaches meeting, Craig made sure to remind me that we had him on the ropes and didn't get it done. It was a good moment for us though, because we played them at Dave Mose and won the first set pretty good. We were up in the second set, like 3 game points to put the match away, and then we played them again on Tuesday in a league match. And we got the other side of Huntington volleyball, you know, and it was a good eye opener, you know. And that third match, when we played the second league match, was a really, really fun, high competitive game, and that was the biggest thing from last year, was just learning how to compete day in, day out at the highest level, not just, you know, beat the teams we should beat and take our lumps against the good teams. Like if we're going to get to where we want to go, we have to perform all the time.
Yeah,
you know?
and it's not a surprise if you do that.
Yeah.
It's not an upset if you win that first game.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
So the expectations are obviously high. What can we expect from this team, and how do you plan to build off of last year's success?
Yeah, I mean, expectations are, well, whoever, you know, depends on who you talk to, right? Of course, I have high expectations, but I'm more focused on just getting our team to whatever our peak is. You know, I'm not walking in this year and saying if we don't do X, Y, and Z, this is a failure, you know, because I think that our peak is right there with anybody's. And so if we just keep our heads straight about where we're trying to get, just individually in-house, if we can handle all the things we need to handle as a team, I'm pretty excited for where that'll take us in league and beyond.
Now, before we get on into your roster, I want to know about your coaching staff. Charlie and I both want to know about the coaching staff, so talk to us about that.
Yeah, so my 2 varsity assistants, who are also one of my Frosh coaches and my JV coach, are Joseph Nunez, my brother-in-law, and Mike Nguyen, who was with my JV team last year, but we flipped them this year to have him with my Frosh team. Mike is a career coach. He's been at Marina multiple times now. He was there back when Paul Munoz was there. He was there coaching with Jake Nonaviller when he was there at first, and now he's back for a third round with me. I've got nothing but good things about Mike. He's the ultimate can-do man, whatever you need done. He takes it on himself. He just loves volleyball. He lives in the gym. And Joseph is that, maybe even a little bit further. You know, he's a current player right now at Concordia. He spent some time. He was one of my players at Marina. He went to Long Island University, came back, won a state championship with Golden West, and now he's on to Concordia and hopefully going to do some big things there. But I've got nothing but positive things to say about him as a leader. And same thing, like, you know, we joke all the time at our HBC building in Huntington. We just need to put a bed upstairs for him, and so he can sleep there. You know, so I'm really happy with what they bring to the table. Lots of good insights. You know, they're both very fiery coaches, and it makes my job pretty easy in matches to come in and be the calming voice a little bit and point direction, because I don't need to rely on myself so much to get everybody going. And then our second Frosh coach is Jordan Packer, who was our setter, alumni from Marina when we went all the way to CIF. She was a 4-year starter at Marina as a setter, and she actually just won a beach tournament or a beach state final at OCC for individuals, and she's now at Vanguard playing beach. Another great high-level player.
Yeah, and she also played some darn good indoor volleyball at
Great.
OCC as well. She has a wicked topspin serve.
Yeah.
Talk to me about Jordan.
I mean, as a player, she was so much fun to coach because she just had so much volleyball, and she was one of the most fierce competitors that I've been around. And I like seeing that come out of her in the coaching side of things for sure. But yeah, you're right. I know she's all in on beach now, but to me, she's an even better indoor player. She's just, wasn't blessed with the height genes. But even despite that, she was one of the best setters in Sunset for a couple of years, for sure.
Oh, yeah. So now let's talk about your current team. So let's talk about the Pins, opposite, outside. I know them, but let's hear from you.
Yeah, I mean, so this is the biggest roster that I've taken in any of my programs, just because we've gotten to a point now where there's so much good volleyball throughout the program that I really couldn't leave some girls on the JV or leave some girls off the list. So we've got so many Pins. Returning from last year, we've got Korynn, of course. We have Addison Brown returning, Selai, Taumoefalau, Ximena Martinez, who played a little middle for me last year. On the club side, she's a natural outside, and she's a really, really good outside. Jaden Pua, who played a little bit opposite for me last year, a little bit of middle. She played an entire club season of outside. Those are all the returners. I don't want to leave anybody off, of course. I've got new girls coming up, Laila, Payne, and Harlow, Burhig, and Claire Moore, and I'm trying to make sure I don't leave anybody off of the Pins. But yeah, we're very, very deep at the pin position, and a lot of Pins that have a lot of experience in multiple positions. Like I said, Jaden and Ximena playing a little bit of middle. Kendall Mathison, that's another one returning, played a little bit of middle, but she's a natural opposite. So yeah, I love the group of Pins that I've got. It makes practices really fun and really competitive for sure.
Now, how about your middles, your full-time middles, if you have any?
Not a lot. We're pretty skinny in the middle this year. We've got Kylee Brunner coming up for my JV team. Just a great kid, good athlete, good natural middle. Scarlette, Lockwood, same thing. But that was the thing that we didn't really return from that varsity group because I had a couple girls playing out of position. So pure middles, those two are really the ones that stick out to me as pure middles, but we've been mixing things up quite a bit in our first two games.
And talk to me about the setters, which is basically the quarterback of the team.
Yeah, so I've got four setters on the team. Alyssa Enriquez returning for her third year with the varsity group. Calleigh and Chloe Furman coming up from the JV team. They had a great club season, just great touch on the ball. And then a freshman that came in that I've been coaching for a couple years on the club side, Vaimoana is her first name, centers. Great touch on the ball, big girl. I'm excited to see where she's going to get in the next couple of years for sure.
And let's not forget the Liberos, #Justice for Liberos. Yeah. I know Rylee Hartwell is back. Any other Liberos?
Yeah, Rylee Hartwell has been great for us for a couple years now. Abby Piramo also is in our Libero group. And then I pulled up a sophomore named Annie Lewis. Great Liberos, good touch on the ball. Abby Paramo's actually committed to go play college volleyball also in her own right. So I know she didn't play a lot for us last year, but we've been trying to figure out every way to get her on the court this year for sure.
Got it. Now, looking at your schedule, you've got 3 good tournaments. We'll start off by breaking it down one by one. The Vegas Varsity Classic. I know you wound up winning that one last year. What made you want to schedule this tournament last year, and what made you want to come back for it this year? Yeah,
we were looking to expand out of Southern California a little bit, because we don't really need to go looking for a tough schedule right around here, right? Our Sunset League does a good enough job for us. So I wanted to see what we could do outside of our comfort zone. So we ended up going to Vegas last year. Yeah, we ended up winning it. It was a good tournament. I had a lot of fun there. The guy that runs it, Harry Harvey, does a really good job. And this year we wanted to go back. He was calling me, emailing me, hey, are you guys going to come back? The champions. And we were on the fence about it. We were giving some thought to traveling somewhere else, but we ended up deciding to go back because they increased the pool. I think they were running around 64 teams from all over the country. It's a really big tournament. So even though we won it last year, I think we're coming in, according to his seeding, as the 5 seed. So it should be a little bit even better tournament this year than it was last year, and I'm excited to go out there and play again, for sure.
I'm looking forward to that tournament. And let's talk about Dave Mose. Last year, you were in well, I was a whole division, but you made it to the top 16.
Mm-hmm.
How accomplishing was that, and what are you looking forward to this year's Dave Mo's tournament? Because there's going to be a lot of competition.
Oh
there.
yeah, great tournament. It's always, it's so nice to have such a high level tournament in our backyards for the girls side. Like the boys side equivalent in my mind is kind of like Best of the West or something like that. And it's nice for us to be able to host and help out Trent as he runs it. It's a high level tournament though. It's a part of what I'm saying. You don't got to go very far in Southern California to find some of the best teams. And so we played Cathedral Catholic last year in our pool, and then we ran into Huntington in the playoffs. The year before that, we were in D2 and got runner up. So it's been a good building thing for us. I love it because it's great for us to get high level competition that is not necessarily our league teams ahead of time, even though we get some opportunities to see some of our league teams pretty early in the year.
It's neat to honor Dave Mose, who was started so many young coaches coaching while he was coaching at Addison High School years ago.
Yeah, it's funny. Like I'm a bit of a volleyball historian through my connection to Derek and beyond, and he was explaining it to me last year a little bit about like just the history of who Dave Mose was and painting like the genealogy almost of like the coaches that started with him and out and out and out, and it's awesome to have such a high level tournament in the area to reflect. Because you can probably draw clear lines back from coaches where they're at right now at these same high schools in that tournament all the way back to Dave Mose.
He went out and actually actively recruited guys
Yeah.
that weren't in education to start with.
Yeah.
And said, hey, you'd be good at this. Why don't you come help me?
Yeah.
And then you'd watch them all, Rocky,
Yeah.
Dan Glenn. I mean, it's just a number of people.
And then the branches from those two out,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
absolutely. Super cool.
And then the last tournament that you have is the Santa Barbara Tournament of Champions. That's a new tournament for you all this year. What made you want to schedule Santa Barbara?
It is. I had actually talked with Craig about the boys tournament, the Karch Karai Classic. And we talked about how it's like really the only tournament that runs best of fives for the whole tournament. And I think that's a cool new experience. Similar to Vegas, we were looking for something to travel, but outside of Orange County, but still not hopping on a flight 4 hours to go to wherever. And I know that's a good high level tournament, and I'm looking for more full on matches because especially at that point in the year as we're getting ready for CIF, finishing up league and all that. I want to see how we're stacking up in longer matches, not the 2 out of 3s.
Well, and again, as we talked about environment and history,
Yeah.
history of volleyball in Santa Barbara.
Absolutely.
Plus, that's no better town. Playing in that old gym, it's
Yeah.
it's a pretty unique and special experience.
Yeah, I'm
And
looking
best
forward
out
to
of
it.
5 late,
Yeah.
pretty good. The winner of those matches are true high
Absolutely.
seeds
There's
because of
no
that.
mistaking who the better team is there,
Right.
for sure.
And talk to me about, you've been a coach for a while. Talk to me about what the culture is like at Marina with you.
I mean, that's been, priority number one since me, Edgar, and Jake got in there, because by the time, so when I got the head job on the boys' side, as far back as anybody had records, Marina had not won a league game. 15 years plus is like what we kept saying, all the way through Paul Munoz and Kirk when he was there before Paul. Like almost dating back to when Derek Lucero was there in the late 90s, early 2000s.
Those were the girls' teams.
Girls teams and boys teams. Like
Yeah.
he had a couple good boys teams. I think they won in '97, the Open Championship on the girls' side.
Yeah.
Had some great boys teams though, also with Steve Klosterman and
Right.
that group. But dating back to I'm blanking on his name, but the guy that took over when Derek took off, he was the last coach prior to me on the boys' side to win a league game at Marina on the boys' side, and the girls' side was not much behind that one. And so when Edgar got the job on the boys' side and Jake right there after the following year on the girls' side, it was just culture. And a lot of that early on was establishing that just because you're here doesn't mean that you get to go all the way through the program, and it doesn't mean that you get to play just because you're here. And like we had too much of that culture of, well, I deserve to be here because I've put my time in instead of
Haven't earned it.
earning
Yeah.
it and winning and doing the right things. I remember when we first got to the boys' side, there were 3 guys in the entire program that were playing club volleyball.
Yeah.
and switching that culture to look and waking them up to what Sunset League really is,
Yeah.
you know? And for us on the boys' side, that was a really, really big emphasis point of let's just get you guys falling in love with volleyball, playing 12 months a year, play on the beach, hit the weights, offering as much extra as we possibly could, and cultivating a group that just did that on their own. And then on the girls' side, it was taking a similar group. A lot more of the girls were playing club, but it was like more about where you're playing and who you're playing for and what you're trying to get out of volleyball. Because that's such a big thing for if you guys want to just come show up, get your PE credits and move on, then maybe maybe we're not the right program for you.
Right.
Because and not even because that's who we want to be, it's who we have to be in Sunset League.
Yep.
You know? And so we put in a lot of work with that girls program, and we had a lot of success. That's Jordan's senior year was years in the making, 6 years plus of starting with Jordan when she was young and adding a piece and hey, come to Marina, like don't transfer out and stay in your school district or stay in your high school. And that turned into that following year getting such an important group with Korynn and Brooklyn. And then the year after that, getting a couple more freshmen that are ready to go and are really about volleyball. And the biggest culture shift for us is really, I think, has been opening the doors whenever anybody wants to come in and put in some work. We'll meet you there. If it needs to be 3 a.m. down at the building, we'll figure out a way and we'll create that and getting the players to buy into that and want that.
And one other big moment that I know you had was you winning CIF in 2021 and the SoCal Regionals on the boys' side. How special was that moment for you?
Oh, it was incredible. I mean, it was the storybook, season. I got the job that year as a head coach. In November, we started putting in some work. It was the year right after COVID. So all year it was, are we going to even have a season? I don't know if you guys remember. I don't think we started games until mid to late March because it just kept getting pushed and pushed and pushed. And the effects of that was our state final or regional. There was no state final that year, but the regional final was the day before graduation for us that year. And that was such a fun run with a group of guys that Edgar had really put a lot of the groundwork in culture-wise. And we came in, we put in some work every day, and we let that take us where it went. And every game, it was like, what's one more game, And every day we showed up at practice, we put in work, we fixed things on the move. It was all the way through. We kept saying we need to add a wrinkle, something that's going to find us 1 or 2 points over and over and over again. And we did that for what felt like a whole year, but really was like a couple months,
Right. One of the that long line of coaches at Marina, Andy Reid was in the 80s.
Coached Allen,
Yeah.
who I've been really fortunate. I can't say enough good things about those two guys. They've been really good to me. I spent a lot of time at Long Beach practices, kind of sitting and learning and talking with those two. Yeah, so that's another great connection there for sure.
Yeah, that's where he kind of got started.
Yeah. Oh, and he's actually been a really good. As I've been trying to find a way into the district as a teacher. Yeah. Andy's been a great help in all that because he was also a teacher at Westminster High School
for years,
for a long time. So he's been great.
Anything else you needed to add, Charlie?
Andy Reid, Long Beach State.
Oh, yeah.
Great coach.
Yeah.
Well, look, Ryan, I'm really looking forward to your matches. I'm definitely going to be there, whether I'm PA announcing or just spectating or writing about your players. You have a great roster, and I'm really looking forward to your team this whole season. Do you have any other shouts or thank yous you want to give out before we end this off?
Of course, thank you to my wife who lets me coach all day and come do cool stuff like this. I can't say enough good things about her and helping with our daughter and making it so I can go and do all the fun stuff I get to do. But yeah, like you said, I'm super excited for this girls program and where we're going, and the boys in the spring. But we'll get to that in a few months.
I have one question. I know.
Yeah.
You've done a lot of things.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
How old are you?
So I'm 27. I'm turning 28 in September, and I've.
You must get that question a lot.
All the time.
Yeah.
I remember when I first got the job at a frost job at Marina. I went over and.
You were a student?
Yeah, and the key lady wouldn't give me keys because she's like, no, the AD knows I can't give keys to a student. But yeah, I've built my career kind of on just saying yes at every opportunity I can, you know. And if I don't end up teaching this year, I'm probably going to be helping out a little bit more here and a little bit more there on the coaching side. I think that's the best way for me to learn everything. And when I was teaching, I taught everything. And
what are you going to teach?
So I have a math credential now, but back when I was teaching,
that's good for math credential.
Yeah, that's great. I love teaching math. When I was at Liberty Christian teaching, I taught everything, anatomy, whatever they needed. I got in anatomy, American history, PE, weightlifting, any electives. You know, just I didn't know how to say no. You know, but that was by design a little bit. You know, I think that's part of why I've gotten where I've gotten, just opportunity-wise on the coaching side for sure.
Well, listen, thank you for your time, Ryan. We greatly appreciate it. That'll do it for this episode. Thank you to our Sunset Rewind production crew, James Krupe for producing, Cole Menzinger for co-producing, Sam Bray, the man behind the lens. We appreciate you. Thank you to Charlie Brand for being the co-pilot. We will be back with another interview sometime down the road. But take care, everybody, and as always, God bless.